the same as the platinum is that I get $250 every quarter to spend at Saks Fifth Avenue.
Okay.
And I am not a Saks guy.
I can't tell you the last time I stepped foot into Saks.
Yeah, there's not a single part of the experience that I enjoy. I know people are like, oh my God, like personal shopper, it's amazing. I don't really want somebody following me around going like, what size do you want to wear?
Yeah, I feel like I know what I want. I don't need somebody,
Yeah, and most of my shopping, I'm a guy, it's online now.
Really?
Right? Like I really don't, if I have to go in and buy something.
Yeah, because you know your brands and you know the sizes that already fit you. You don't want to have to try something new.
I thought that until I bought these pants. These are 2XL because I wanted them to be baggy. And I bought a large pair of another pair of pants that were bigger than these. I'm very confused.
Yeah, very confused.
Same brand.
No, we're having this issue too. Yesterday we bought Adam his back to school shoes. So okay, so he wears size 4, 4.5. Okay, now men's sizes now.
That's weird.
Game changer for him. Gets access to way more shoes. Go to the store and he's fitting into a 5.5. We're like, this doesn't make any sense. What do you mean 5.5 to 4? Like, this is the range?
You ever have somebody measure your toes when you were a kid and one of those like metal foot things?
Yeah.
Measure your feet, not your toes.
Your toes.
Because I got one long ET finger toe next to my big toe.
Yeah.
Which always made my foot look bigger than it actually is.
The listeners have called you out for it. I remember.
Elliot.
Yeah.
I have good looking toes.
You're pretty confident. You do wear.
I'm pretty confident. Yeah,
you do wear flip flops. That's my thing. By the way, we should introduce ourselves for the show before we get started. Welcome back to the #1 financial literacy podcast in the world. Sitting in front of me is my partner in crime, Christopher Nahibi.
Probably worthwhile to note we talk about more than toes in the show.
Yeah. Hopefully you're sticking around.
Sitting across from me, my partner in crime, the one and only in the OG merch for the second episode in a row.
Yeah, you noticed that.
Saeed Omar, baby.
Thank you, my man. And sitting behind the desk in the production suite, the Fijian himself, Rajil. What's up, Rajil?
What's up, my guys?
Oh, there you go. What's up, my guys?
A little short of 6. We're committed to getting Rajil confident to say 7 words this episode.
He's going to do it.
Consecutively.
Yeah.
Not in total.
He's going to be required to contribute a lot on this one.
He is wearing a pleasure shirt, so he's repping the brand.
So back to our toes, right?
Or my toes.
Yeah, your toes.
Yeah.
This is my thing, right? Guys that wear flip-flops, that's a lot of confidence. Just to be putting the toes out like that, you got to be you're a pretty confident guy.
Let me first say, look, I don't care about anybody's opinion. Wear what you want.
Really?
That being said, I have rules that I live by. Simple rules, okay?
Okay.
If you wear pants.
Okay, pants. Any kind of pants.
Any kind of pants with open-toed flip-flops, that's a no.
-1.
Yeah, -1. Black suits, weddings and funerals only. Right?
Agreed.
Black dress shoes, formal occasions only. Right? So people are like, I wear black dress shoes with my jeans. No, you don't. -1.
Black dress shoes with their jeans, like denim jeans, that look?
Yeah. Because people see dress shoes as dress shoes, and they're like, black shoes are black shoes, brown shoes are brown shoes. I'm like, no. There's occasions for certain color palettes.
I agree.
Okay. You're also colorblind, so you're agreeing with me here. It doesn't make me feel
all black, everything.
Yeah.
Even the Nike sign is black.
No, I get it. I get it. Today I'm actually in a very earth toned. I feel very Kanye today.
You're very
earth toned.
Neutral. We do have a show for everybody today.
We really don't.
No, we do. There are some things that we do want to get into at the top of the show. We're gonna get into Jerome Powell's comments over in Jackson Hole, right? We're gonna see how that impacts the markets and what that did do to the markets. There's actually a report out by MIT. Did you hear about that? About companies that have adopted generative AI that I was gonna bring up on the show. I want to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah,
I got a little something there, and then we're gonna dive into some personal questions. Listeners have been wanting to learn more about us and the Fijian in particular because they don't hear enough from him.
Today you will hear him.
Yeah, that's right.
Today you will.
Today you will.
He faded out a little bit.
He faded. He didn't know where he wanted.
I'm gonna give you 3.5 on that one, dog.
He didn't know where he wanted to go.
Yeah, he's like, shit. Stage fright.
Yeah, we'll get there. So last week, Jerome Powell had some comments which basically confirmed that the FOMC will likely, have a rate cut.
He was very, as they say, dovish. There's 2 different ways here, 2 different birds, right? Dovish, soft, pretty. Hawkish, running scared.
Yeah.
Right? Dovish, cut rates. Hawkish, keep rates the same.
right now. That's
Yeah.
what that means, right? And before this little press conference that he had right over in Jackson Hole, the odds of a rate cut were at 76%, right? After that meeting, immediately odds shot up to 89%. Now, not a guaranteed sure thing, but I mean, as close to one as you'll probably get.
Yeah, I'm very confident we're going to see a 25 basis point rate cut this particular meeting.
And why this is such a hot topic right now is no secret. We've talked about this on a lot of episodes, right? The Fed's purpose, right? Their dual mandate is price stability and maximum employment for the peoples, right? Inflation is high and and the labor market is strong. No need to cut rates, right? Inflation starts to come down to where we need it to be, and the labor market decreases. Okay, we need to cut rates, right? But now we got two pieces of data, part of their mandate, that are working in opposite directions, right? The labor market, we had that July jobs report, came in at 73,000 jobs. Typically healthy economy, 100,000 jobs a month. That makes everybody feel nice, warm, and fuzzy. The problem here is the prior 2 months, for May and June, jobs were reduced down for a combined total of 250,000. Only 19,000 jobs were added in May, and only 14,000 jobs were added in June.
Let's not forget the former head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics that reports these numbers lost her job over this. The president fired her for it.
Yeah, fired her for it, right? And now, mind you, that July 73,000 number hasn't been revised yet. Do not be surprised if that gets revised down, and you might even see a negative number. I'm not saying you will, but don't be surprised if you do, right? So now the Fed's looking at that like, okay, well, we're about to have 3 months of poor labor market data, which is part of our dual mandate, right? And although inflation did creep up a little bit under core inflation, right, the headline figure remains stagnant. So we have a reason to be able to cut rates here.
And more importantly, I think that the last episode we talked about how the White House is using a little bit of the media to push and execute a little bit on their agenda. Right now, the president and his cabinet firmly believe the right thing to do is to cut rates. Now, monetary policy, fiscal policy, very different things, but it is generally speaking not the president's prerogative to influence the Fed. As a matter of fact, they're supposed to be independent, and yet you have a president that's been very open and clear about his desire to influence the Fed. And so much so that we did an entire episode, last episode, on potentially firing one of the FOMC members, Ms. Cook, for tantamount to what Trump describes as mortgage fraud. And I guess on a technical perspective, he's probably accurate, or could be accurate based on what we know of the facts. And today, as we record this, 25th of August, it seems as if he did actually fire her.
It's definitely inching closer.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. He released it on Truth Social here. Trump says he's removing Fed Governor Lisa Cook, cites mortgage fraud allegations. This is from CNBC. We'll make sure we link this in the show notes. But he went on to say that, there's been several occasions that have been proven that she's provided false statements on one or more mortgage agreements. Here you go.
Jill putting it up on screen. No,
Look at this.
He doesn't need
He's
your...
back. He's back in the black.
Yeah.
Look at him. He knows what he's doing. Christopher, Trump has complained for months that Fed Chairman Jerome Powell has not lowered interest rates, which is a big reason why a lot of people are taking issue with this firing. What's going on? What's going on?
Talk about yourselves.
This is a finance show. Hold on. Is it not a financial saying to say we're in the black?
No,
we're in the black. What does that mean?
Red and black.
What does it mean?
Also,
people confuse. People think it's red and green. It's not. It's red and black.
It's red and black.
Yeah.
That's
don't do
correct.
this.
No, I'm fine. It's just that,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. So, I mean, the only way he can remove a Fed official, as it says here, is for cause. And technically speaking, to your point, I guess. I mean, this is going to set a whole new precedent, though, right? Like what for cause really means.
Somebody made an interesting argument to me the other day. I was talking to a pretty affluent individual who is very Republican. And, I hate it when the crossing of politics and finance is where it's at today, because we wind up spending a disproportionate amount of time talking about people who should not be influencing the economy at all. But that's the economy today, right? And he was telling me that he saw a material difference between what Trump was accused of doing before with mortgage fraud versus what she's accused of doing. And I said, how so? And he said, well, Trump didn't. He paid back all the debt that he had, right? Ultimately, he paid back everything, regardless of the position. He didn't get any preferential treatment as far as rates go that we know of. Whereas Ms. Cook here, the FOMC member, got a better rate presumptively as a result of this quote fraud. And somebody did lose tantamount to money because she paid less to the bank she otherwise would have paid, whereas Trump paid all the money. Now, he's a very big political proponent of Trump, but it's actually a pretty sound argument when you think about the differences. Truth Social uses cookies.
This is
I've never actually been on Truth Social.
Right. They're getting a free plug right here. Make sure we send them a bill.
Yeah.
Dear Governor Cook, pursuant to my authority under Article 2 of the Constitution of the United States and the Federal Reserve Act of 1913 as amended, you are hereby removed from your position on the Board of Governors. You posted this on Truth Social? This is how she finds out?
No, I'm assuming he mailed it to her, right?
It says up there that he mailed it to her.
This is actually a good time to...
No, bro, he says he mailed it to her. It hasn't gotten to her yet. It's dated August 25th. So he put it in the mail, but then also posted it.
I love their letterhead, the White House, Washington.
Gangster.
Just, yeah.
Right?
Enough said.
Yeah. Well, you don't need any color logos. It's the White House.
Yeah, exactly. No logo.
Washington.
Well, what's the logo going to be? The American flag? Like, what's it going to be?
Yeah, no, it's unnecessary. This brings up a valid point. Something that bothers me a great deal about today, and frankly about the FOMC, and the president, for that matter. Why are all these people talking as much as they are? We used to
controlling the narrative, right?
There's too much. There was a period of time where the FOMC did not speak this frequently. As a matter of fact, Jerome Powell held himself out at the beginning of his original tenure to be the most communicative FOMC head in history, which I guess sounds nice in theory because you want somebody who's communicative.
Mm-hmm.
But in practice, he's moving the markets. His conversation in Jackson Hole alone, as you cited at the top of the show, moved the needle almost 20% greater in probability of a rate cut because of the words that he put out in society.
Yeah.
Okay? Using the traditional media to do that. Here you have Trump sending a letter and then posting it on social media for the world to see. What in the actual shit are we doing? We're making a mockery of decorum.
And this is the other part of what he said in Jackson Hole that I took issue with. It's almost like he's speaking to the people. Like everybody in the room there is probably smart enough to like read between the lines and know that it can't just be relying on this one data point. But this is what he said: the FOMC is going to be primarily looking at the unemployment rate. Right? We know that the unemployment rate is a lagging indicator. It's looking at backwards data. Right? It's not looking at currently what's going on live. Right? So what are the issues with the unemployment rate?
We need to stop being proactive with this. Here's what's happening. We're moving the markets too much.
He's using like these data points to whatever, just to spin whatever narrative he wants to run with.
But we don't need to spin narratives. Here's my point: is we get back to a point where somebody, I don't know if that's the president or Congress or what, somebody has to say the SEP, the Summary of Economic Projections that the FOMC puts out quarterly. Is it?
Yes. So the next one should be in September. Actually,
right? That they put out. That tells the world what you were thinking when you made the decision. Mm-hmm. That speaks for you. You don't need to have press conferences and say all this stuff.
Right.
Just put out the Summary of Economic Projections and let people read meaningful information that gives a synopsis of what's happening in the room. And let's be clear here, the Fed, the Board of Governors, it's a committee.
Mm-hmm.
So they have minutes of the meeting.
Yeah.
We can read the minutes of the meeting.
Right.
This whole, I need to have a press conference afterward to reinterpret and ask questions.
I feel like
there's no value here. What are we doing?
I feel like they put themselves in a position now where you started to answer questions. I look at it like this: a company that maybe doesn't take Q&A on an earnings call, right? And out of nowhere starts taking these Q&A questions, and then now people are looking to you. You started doing this. Mm-hmm. If you stop, what's going on? Why'd you stop?
Yeah,
right?
It's very difficult.
It's very difficult. So it's like now you guys have started this. You started a trend, right? And now it's versus like if I tell my kids, hey, I'm taking away the iPads or you can't watch YouTube until next weekend. We'll see how you did this week. And then every day they come up to me and ask me for updates. How am I doing? we'll revisit the situation when
They do that. Though.
Yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, and you hurt yourself by giving them updates. I said we'll revisit this situation. We'll see how you do at the end of the week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna entertain this idea every day. And you say, how am I doing? It's been 3 days. Can I get it back now? No. Let's wait. I told you when we're gonna revisit the situation.
I feel like you're talking to me. You say that.
I feel like they lost control, right?
Of course, they lost control. 100%. You have a president openly criticizing you and firing your members on social media. You've had them walk through a construction site and observe and report and call out your spending as a proxy to try and fire you as the FOMC head.
That's right.
You've had him trash you in the media. And again, this is not a political agenda. These are just facts, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then at the same time, you've got an FOMC who's been way over the top communicative, completely unnecessary, sensationalizing. Look, life as it is today is sensational enough. I don't need you and everybody else making a mockery of the system. There are certain things. Can you imagine? Well, I guess it's already happening. Like the senators are already on social media commenting and putting stuff out there. Everybody wants to be like notable enough to have their words matter in a public setting. And this is the problem with modern politics, right? Like everybody so badly wants their opinions and their words to carry weight. It's like the people who don't want it are probably the best qualified to do the job.
Yeah.
Because they're not doing it for the power, they're doing it to be efficient.
But yeah, you see how these people are being treated now. You're like, why would I subject myself to this? Why would I do this?
I don't know.
Like, I'm not going to be recognized for doing the thing that needs to be done. Look, we all know what needs to be done. We need to go through. If we really want to think about the long-term goals of everybody, not just ourselves in this current moment, but our kids, right? You probably have to go through a little bit of pain to get this, to right the ship, right?
Not everybody feels that way.
You don't think so?
No, I know so. I'll put it this way.
They think the affordability crisis, this is just going to fix itself?
There are a lot of people in society who think, I have it, I want to keep it. I don't really give a shit about the next generation because my kids will have it because I have it.
Yeah, but that's right. They only care about their kids.
They're insulated, right?
Yeah.
They care about their legacy. The word legacy in traditional law and in Latin literally meant kids. Your legacy was your children. So yeah, I think there is a pretty big ethical divide in people really caring about the next generation per se. I mean, think about all the connotation you've ever heard about somebody talking about a generation that comes after them. It's always critical.
Yeah.
No, I've never heard one person go, holy shit, that generation that came after me, oh, they're amazing, man.
True that. Yeah.
They're always like, you don't know how lucky you are. You don't know how tough I had it. I used to walk up and down a hill both ways to get to school.
Yeah.
In the snow.
15 miles, right?
Yeah,
right.
So, I mean, it's just, everybody has like this inner superiority complex. And I think the people that have the wealth right now, and let's make no mistake about it.
But seriously though, like these kids nowadays got it real good.
Oh, there you go. I'm not gonna lie, it's not just these kids, man. I use AI all the time, bro. Like I've seen MRIs lately. And I don't know if this is an AI study you were talking about, but
no, but go ahead.
I've seen MRIs lately of people who literally use AI a lot and those who don't. And they gave them critical thinking tests. And there is a visual difference in the way the brain is electrically lighting up. And for those of you who aren't familiar with neuroscience, the way they gauge brain activity is how much electric current effectively is pulsating by your neurons firing. And that's how they gauge how active certain parts of the brain are, right? We don't really have a full, complex understanding of the brain any more than we do of deep space. We're getting to know more and more every single day. Aliens might be real.
Right.
But when you start looking at these studies, it's changing the way we think. But at the same time, I stop and I pause and I think to myself, but yeah, okay, cool. We also said that about video games. And there's going to make a whole generation of kids hyper violent. And I don't know that we really have.
Well, the problem is parents have to still parent their kids, right? Like, just because they're playing these video games or they're being introduced to new technology doesn't mean you get to stop parenting your kids and feel like everything's going to be the same.
I get that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. But what I'm saying is we also have a tendency to hyper sensitize new ideas. When a study that just came out not too long ago was that surgeons that play video games are actually better with their hands and have better surgical results.
There you go.
as a way of, I mean, maybe it's the hand-eye coordination element there. I mean, we're really unclear on the rationale as to why, but it was a fascinating study.
Yeah.
And I looked at it as most surgeons who play video games are generally a generation younger.
Mm-hmm.
So you're comparing older, more experienced surgeons with younger surgeons who probably just have better hand-eye coordination by age. So it could have been just correlation bias.
Not causation, right. So the study about AI that I wanted to bring up, Rajil, maybe you can look this up. Look up MIT report on generative AI. Basically came out and said they did some research that 95% of the companies out there that have incorporated generative AI haven't seen a profit.
Generative.
That's what I said, generative, didn't I?
Generative, not generative.
Sorry, I said generative.
I'd just like to point out you're wrong.
Yeah, generative AI, and they haven't returned a profit on it.
I think that's probably accurate. And that's my fear of the market from a tech perspective, is that if the Mag 7 is carrying the way in the stock market financially, and AI is that new sensationalized term, the buzzword that everybody's putting into practice, and as a result, companies all want to say they're deploying AI to get that pickup in the stock price, so they all do it. Well, 95% of the generative AI pilots at companies are failing. It does not surprise me.
Yeah, exactly. And we know that, exactly to your point, the growth that we've seen in the Magnificent Seven is largely in part due to the capital expenditures into AI.
That's right.
Right? So that's the scary part. So the conversation now is really starting to go around like, okay, I know we kind of hinted at this feels a little bit like the dot-com bubble again, but with reports like this coming out, you're like, okay, maybe we're closer than we actually thought.
So let me pose a perspective-based question for you and everybody else. The money that people are spending on AI is propping up the Mag 7 because everybody's trying to implement it.
And everyone's trying to implement. What everyone needs to really understand too is it feels like it's a arms race, like for all these companies, that at the end of this, one company will be deemed the company with AI, and that's what they're all trying to get there, and who can get there the fastest.
Which is interesting because Apple, of all companies, is not participating. And I know that Tim Cook's faced a lot of pressure. Some people have been calling for him to resign at Apple, in large part because they say that he's being unresponsive to the changing technological landscape.
Yeah, bro. This new thin iPhone, I'm not with it. Like, what? That's not doing anything for me. You seen this?
The iPhone 17 Air?
Yeah. Like,
here's what I want.
Give me something a little sexier, bro.
I want what's probably going to come out the next generation is the iPhone that's a normal size iPhone. You open it up, it becomes an iPad. I want that. I don't need it, but I want it.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's got value to me. And there's already patents for this that Apple has, where you take an iPhone, you put it in a device, and that iPhone is your computer. The device basically just has a screen and a keyboard on it.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, makes a lot more sense because of the computing power that's on your iPhone these days.
Yeah.
But I don't want to leave too far here from the AI speech. Apple has chosen to sit out the AI race on some level, and they're looking to incorporate third-party AI. And they haven't announced it. There's clearly something going on there. Tim Cook's alluded to it on a couple different calls, where he's alluded to it being either ChatGPT based or possibly Google's AI infrastructure. He's got a couple different names that are out there. What's interesting to me is that we tend to personalize stuff and say, oh, Tim Cook, he's just missing the 8 ball here, man.
It's all Tim, bro.
Or maybe he's got a very, very resourceful people around him and a team of resourceful people around him. Mm-hmm. And he's gone, you know what? This is not an economically viable end strategy for us to deploy.
Yeah.
And you look at Facebook hiring employees for $100 million, $200 million, paying unbelievable amounts of money because they believe
at the end of this, I'm almost certain that we're going to see our first trillionaire. For sure. When this is all said and done.
I wouldn't doubt it, but I also look at this and I think to myself, AI's got some value, 100%. It helps me be more efficient every single day.
Yeah.
The novelty is worn off for me, and the efficiency has really become the focus for me, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't look at it as like this perfect solution to help me do everything. Like, I'm not going to dump an Excel sheet or a Word document into it, and it's going to give me that completed document. But I can go section by section in documents and get somebody to give me something the same way an analyst would, so that I can exercise that professional level discretion in answering something.
Right, but I've seen it myself too, where you still need to fact check it. It's not spinning out accurate information all the time.
But the person who's able to fact check and prompt is always going to turn around a faster result. Now, is faster what you want?
Right.
This all goes to an interesting place. I don't think for a lot of jobs the way people feel threatened, it's going to be as impactful. But certainly if you're an illustrator, anybody who can prompt now can now illustrate. And I've done this with the comic series that we have on the podcast, right?
Which I've gotten a lot of positive feedback with.
Have you really?
Yeah,
Thanks
a lot.
for sharing.
A lot, yeah.
Really?
Well, it's always been in person. I can't screenshot it.
So what I did there, and I think we talked about this briefly in another episode, but basically what I did is I took a comic that I liked and tried to recreate that with a couple different versions, got something that was close to it, then made a color palette that I put onto the comic so that it has the same visual color aesthetic, knowing full well that you're colorblind. And then once I found an aesthetic that I liked, I had a JSON code shot to me from ChatGPT. Describe this in code.
What'd you call me?
JSON.
Oh, okay, got it.
Not to be confused with J.
Derulo.
Cole. There
Right.
we go. It served me. I knew you were going to one of them. I just didn't know there's too many J's out there. You know what I mean? So it gives me this code. So then all I do is tell it and I give it a photo and say, hey, here's the code, make it look like this. Or, hey, I want a tree with this code. And then it spits out, and there's consistency and uniformity that I can now deploy in order to get the aesthetic that I want. If you're an illustrator in comics, you got a real challenge ahead of you.
Man, so Adam, my son, just recently transferred into a new school, right? Started into the GATE program.
Congrats.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see. He seems to like it so far. First assignment, first week of school, teaching the kids how to prompt using AI.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like, thank you. Like, whether it's useful or not, it's a tool that he can definitely use to his advantage or to his benefit, as the years go on. And the earlier he can be introduced to it, the better.
Yeah. And so my son has been doing this thing too, which is interesting because so I spent the last Sunday, yesterday, I spent the whole day playing video games with him. Not because I really like the video game that he's playing.
No, I know.
But because the Sunday before school started last week and this Sunday I did it twice because I really wanted to watch what he does. And he can fully read. He's in first grade. He just started, but he can fully read. He can fully do math. But he uses features on the iPad that I don't use.
Okay, like?
So I don't use voice to text, but he will. And I'm like, son, you know how to spell that? Why? And he's like, it's just easier to tap the button and say, show me this. And for him, he's playing video games, and there's he's playing Minecraft, and he's looking for certain items. So he'll go, show me a torch. And it'll bring up a torch, and he doesn't have to type anything in, and he can keep his hands on the controls. So now he's speaking to text, has his hand on the controls, still moving. It's just, I look at it and I go, okay, so the way they're looking at things is different. So I like the fact they're looking at AI in school for kids because it's important, but are they going to develop the critical thinking in order to understand just because you can shortcut something doesn't mean you don't need to understand how it works.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. So funny you say that. So I was laying at night, I lay down with both my kids in bed before putting them to sleep. And that's when the conversations really start flowing. They don't really like to talk about their days, but if there's a chance for them to stay up later, I'll start talking to you, right?
Blackmail.
Yeah, that's what they do. So I always use that time. And Adam goes, Dad, you guys got sponsors on the podcast? Right? And I'm like, no, not yet. There's a little bit of conflicts, but maybe someday. And he's like, okay, when you do, he's like, let me give you some tips. I'm like, what? Okay, yeah, give me the tips. He goes, do it like Mr. Beast does it and not like how everybody else does it. I'm like, what is... And he's now parting and dissecting these things at this age where he goes, if you're going to do something that helps you start a business, he's like, you want to start a business? Let me show you how to start a business. Use this app, right? Like, because Dad, starting a business is cool. Why wouldn't I want to start a business? But if you say, hey, next time you want to do some sports gambling on some underdog fantasy, use this app. He's like, kids don't really like that kind of stuff.
So my son's been watching on the weekends when we're doing this video game thing. He's been watching this YouTube channel about Minecraft.
Okay.
The name doesn't matter. I'm listening in the background while I'm playing with him from the other room so I can do things and multitask a little bit, right? Because, again, video games are not my thing. And I hear the dialogue in the show. It's a YouTube channel aimed at kids. And he keeps talking about his friend, Mr. Beast. He keeps talking about, I love the Feastables chocolate peanut butter flavor. Which one is your favorite? Blah, blah, blah. He's talking to the character. He's not using like referral codes. It's not a clear sell.
Yeah.
But literally the entire episode, he's talking about Mr. Beast is rich and he likes nice things. We're going to build this house for Mr. Beast, our friend Mr. Beast.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized about 10 minutes into it, this entire thing is a commercial for Feastables.
Yeah.
His product line.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm sitting here going, like, okay, there's got to be laws here that are being violated. Like, there's disclosure in text, but these kids are young and impressionable, right? You're not saying this is an ad. I'm sure it says
maybe it wasn't an ad. Maybe it wasn't getting paid. Because kids actually like hearing that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, yeah, there are laws. I mean, you do have to you have to give a disclaimer if it's a paid advertisement.
Yeah, in text, but a kid's not going to read.
No.
Here's the thing about YouTube, and I don't know if you've seen this. No one reads the show notes.
Right.
The show notes are there for the algorithm, for the platform,
the SEO or whatever.
But very rarely does anybody use the show notes. And people who put all these affiliate codes in their show notes, like, who's going to go, oh my God, Billy has an affiliate code for Tums. I'm going to go get some of those Tums.
Yeah, you might get a very small, like, percentage of, like, true fan base. Of, like, I want to help them out.
Let's test it out with the nicest human being I know. Rajil?
Yes.
Have you ever gone to somebody's show notes in a YouTube video, pulled an affiliate code, and used it?
No, I haven't.
That's not true.
That's the nicest man in the world right there.
He told me you used it for some, what was it, Preparation H or something? What was it?
Wow. Rajil, you going to take that?
No comment.
No comment.
I don't want no trouble, guys.
No trouble this episode. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, and I do agree. And it's just for the algorithm, but you're right. The kids, and it could just be an advertisement, but it probably wasn't, because I've seen other podcasts where at the end of it they do just give a disclaimer saying, by the way, this is a paid advertisement.
Yeah, I guess the other problem too is very few people listen all the way to the end on anybody's show. Mm-hmm. One of the metrics that we constantly track as podcasters is consumption, what percentage of the show is consumed. And we can tell you that on audio platforms that it's not uncommon for us to be well north of 75% of a consumption rate. Most of you who listen to the show on audio platforms are listening to at least 75% of the show.
I think anything above 60% is good, right?
It's generally good, yeah. So 80, 90% on some shows, if it's a really compelling show and we go all the way to the end, great. Usually some of the small chat, the true fans will stay until the end, but other people won't. Consumption rate is really important. But there's a huge difference between the consumption rate on YouTube videos and the consumption rate on audio platforms. And I have a theory. YouTube videos, just like social media, that's our visible social media, it's attention media now. It's not social media, right? And when you look at the videos, even on YouTube, if you look at the timeline at the bottom, they tell you the most watch periods.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? Because they know where the attention goes. And most people are going to try to stay in, grab the meat of what's being said, and they're going to just cut out at the end of it because they don't want to know the end. They don't want to see the call to action. They don't care.
It's true.
So what happens is you start having everybody, and TikTok started kicking this off, but you start having everybody curate 0 gaps in conversation. You start having people go straight into, this is what I'm going to do for you this video. Here's what I'm doing for you this video. Here's how it can work for you this video, and then they're out. Right. It's a shorter and shorter and shorter, kind of time span. Whereas audio platforms, people are listening because they know people. They want to hear thoughts. They want to hear dialogue. Mm-hmm. And there's not like a visual stimulant. It's you got to stay to the end and know.
Right. And then there's so much content that people are following these days that it's like, if let's say they're listening to a podcast and they get to their destination, well, they're not gonna. If it was compelling enough for them to go back, great. If not, they got it like 3, 4, 5 other shows that they're trying to get to.
So yeah, and I'll be the first to admit there are lots of podcasts that I listen to where, and somebody hit me with this recently, which is really interesting. They said, I don't listen to your show to hear guests. Mm-hmm. Everybody's copying the Rogan model, but you're not going to get Rogan caliber guests. But truthfully, like, I'm not listening to the show to hear somebody else's story.
Right.
It's very rare you bring anybody on whose story I would know going into it. So unless I'm really interested, it's probably a pass.
You know what I was thinking about this after receiving some of those comments from the listeners. Mm. The only other show that I've personally seen that did it a little bit different, that I thought was pretty cool, and I wanted to get your take on this, was back in the day, The Fighter and the Kid. What they used to do is when they would bring a guest on, you're just part of our normal show now. We're going to do our show, and you're going to give your takes on what you're seeing too, right? So it's like they'll have a guest on, whether it's a fighter or another comedian or whoever it is, And
Yeah, see, I prefer that.
see that
I
makes
like that.
that makes way more sense. It's like, oh, now you get to have these guests on to have takes on stuff that we normally talk about.
I recently had a guest on that Said wasn't part of the recording, and probably grateful for not being part of it. Two great guys. They have a business together. Really interesting story, but they were very stiff on the mic because they didn't want to talk about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided not to air the show. I'm probably going to air it separately, where I interview each one of them independently or something like that. But it just didn't resonate. And I bet you, if you ask those guys comments about, hey, how is the FOMC affecting your business as we go over articles, I'm sure they'll be more responsive.
Oh yeah, and
It takes the focus off them.
They'll definitely have a take on it, right? And it'll relieve them of like the pressure of, wait, I'm on camera,
Sitting across from
it's
some
like I gotta
asshole
sell,
on a table.
yeah, I gotta sell myself to this whole fan base that's listening. So I don't know. That model to me sounds pretty cool, and I'd like to get the listeners' take on that.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, shall we get into the personal Q&A stuff?
Oh, the personal. It sounds like you got something lined up already.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No. I
Yeah.
figured I'd probably be the scapegoat for a lot of the questions coming across this way. But so, given that there's been a lot of negativity in the news lately, we've tried to stay away from this perpetual negative news cycle where lots of bad things are happening, and some of the data that's come out has been somewhat irrelevant. You get a jobs report, it changes. You get a lot of political rhetoric. I don't want to talk about politics in the show. I mean, we have to on some level, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it becomes this just twisted cycle. Let's talk about some real stuff.
Okay.
So, I've started a lot of businesses, most of which have failed. One of the first businesses I started what was originally kind of like a blog, right?
Okay.
Before social media, of just about my life, photos about my life, and I posted online. Didn't really go anywhere. I probably missed out of an opportunity, but I learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I learned about how coding worked, HTML. I learned about blogs back in the day, which is a precursor to social media.
But how long after did you realize you learned a lot and it's still successful? Because I know you said I started a lot of businesses and they failed. At what point did you look back and be like, okay, because you were doing this all during times when I'm assuming you had a 9 to 5.
Yeah, I was doing it tonight.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not like you were banking on the income or the revenue to come in. No. So, but at what point did you feel like, okay, this was still a net positive because I learned a lot?
Probably years later. I never really stopped to look at it. It became so emotionally overwhelming. And then the early days of having a blog, it was a website, right? I didn't have it behind a paywall and like that. It was just a website. Anybody can go to it. And I remember, this is a true story, so this is going to be sensitive for baby ears. I posted in a frustrating comment that I was so tired of the public criticism I was getting from people at the time that I just posted like this just verbal truth diarrhea, right? That at the time, I was embarrassed of where I was financially, so I had a tendency to probably use a little bit of hyperbole. I wouldn't call it lying about the accomplishments that I had at the time because I wanted more. And now I have a lot of the things that I thought I wanted then. And
why do you think you were embarrassed at that time though? Because I take it at that time, social media wasn't what it is now.
No. Look, I grew up with this very polarized position with parents, right? Like my mom was from the Midwest, Oklahoma, and she came from a very poor family. And to this day, money was never meaningful to my mom. And I support my mom. She has one of my Amex cards on the corporate account, and I bought her a home. I bought her a car. And in a lot of ways, I'm her retirement. My parents split up when I was 14, and my dad really didn't pay my mom anything. But in his defense, my mom didn't want anything.
Okay,
she wanted my father to love her, and it just didn't work out. And there's a whole complicated backstory as to what happened. But we went from my dad, who came to this country, became a janitor, owned a janitorial company, and he had aspirations of being wealthy, and he was in the mortgage business at the time. And he later on kind of hit a curve of making a great deal of money and owning a large lender. He lost it all at some point in time, which ironically, when I was growing up, people would say, well, your dad was wealthy. My dad never really shared any money with me, and a lot of what he had looked like money but wasn't real money, and he lost it all anyway. So there wasn't really the financial support that people, I think that there was.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was super poor. I mean, I talked about in the show before, looking for change in the couch.
Right.
Buy a 2-liter bottle of soda, chocolate bar.
Mm-hmm.
My dad hit that cadence and became wealthy when he moved to Laguna Hills and made a great deal of money in what is now a multi-million-dollar home. And this house had 6 rooms. My room to get to it was through the pool, like the game billiard room, and there was another room on the end that was mine. And it was a big home. But my mom came home one day. I lived with her. My parents split up, and my mom said that my uncle was there and that she was going to move to Oklahoma. She couldn't afford it out here. And I knew at 14 that my mom couldn't afford to have 2 kids, my sister and me. And that if I stayed with my dad, despite the fact that we didn't get along a whole lot back then, that it would give her a better financial future.
Wow.
Right?
That's a tough decision for a 14-year-old to make.
Yeah. So I left with one suitcase. It was I literally one suitcase full of clothes. My mom took everything else that I owned because she naturally thought that I would not make it out here and go back home. And I would move with one suitcase full of clothes in with my dad. And years later, when I moved out, that's all I really had still.
Wow.
Not to say that bad about my dad. It's just I'm very minimal like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you grow up poor, but then you get in this wealthy environment where everybody you're going to school with had cars and grew up wealthy. And although my dad seemed to have all those things, he still was kind of adjusting and eventually, did lose it all. You grow up in this world where you're trying to, I guess, be normal like everybody else around you.
What you think is normal?
What you think is normal around you, but you can't afford it.
Yeah.
And I wanted those things. I thought, okay, well, I'm intelligent. I should be able to get them, right? But as you get older, you realize that intelligence is no proxy for wealth.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I'll never forget, Bill, my friend Bill, the dermatologist?
No, I've heard you speak about him. Yeah.
So Bill, God, I hate to say this. He had a bit of a drug problem when we were in college. He was going through a lot emotionally, and I don't discount him at all for it. He's a brilliant man, and genetically just a brilliant human being, and different. He would study my note cards from our biological sciences class and organic chemistry classes, and he would study still high on drugs from the night before and get an A, and I would get a C- at best. Right. You could just tell he was built for it. I knew I wasn't going to be a doctor like I thought I was going to be when we were in college. Bill's dad was one of the smartest, most articulate men I ever met. And he was a stalker for grocery stores. And he died one day outside of the grocery store reading a book underneath a tree.
Wow, really? Oh, man.
Brilliant man. Probably could have ran any Fortune 500 company in the world. Super articulate, almost like sociologically disconnected to the world because he just thought differently.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at somebody like that and you realize that intelligence is not a proxy for wealth. Mm-hmm. My mom's brother was literally a genius, and he had 3 fingers missing from one of his hands. He'd cut them off on accident.
Just okay.
On 3 separate occasions, mind you. Right? But this is the same man who, when our car broke down by the side of the road, took a Folgers coffee can and a pocket knife and get the car started back up again. He just fundamentally knew how things worked better than other people. But again, also on the spectrum, if you ask my honest opinion.
Okay.
I look at people like that, and as you grow up, you realize that intelligence and feeling like you should have more doesn't mean that you will get more.
That's true, yeah.
It just usually means that you understand the world better and you can see the inequities in it better.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, for some people, I would imagine, and you hear that, they say that stuff doesn't mean anything to me.
It does, though.
It does, and then it might be for some of them. I don't want to give a blanket statement, but it gives them a cop out to not push themselves to their full potential, right?
Maybe,
but I think that, and from what I've seen, just being in sometimes as a young professional going up and being put into meetings that oh, this is my first time going into this meeting with these C-suite executives, or and you're a little shell shocked and you're a little uncomfortable. I don't want to say anything wrong.
You still feel that way?
No, I don't feel that way anymore because now, at least in these meetings, now I know there are another level, right? There's
Not
another
really.
level to reach. I know, but it's the same concept where once you get in, you realize, oh wait, these people have just been exposed to this longer than I have, and they're just comfortable in it.
Most of
And-
them are acting as if.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, there's very few people. Tim Sloan, former CEO of Wells Fargo, I've spoken to him on a couple occasions, and he's everything you would think of. He's articulate, he's smart, he understands the nuances, the idiosyncratic details of a business, and you go, okay, that guy should be a CEO of a big company.
Mm-hmm.
But he also does it in this way where he talks to you, he cares about how you respond to him, he remembers things, and you feel engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you go into a meeting and you feel like somebody is so complex that you don't feel engaged, that is not a leader. Okay.
Right.
If they can't connect with you on some level, then I would argue that there's probably a reason that they can't.
Yeah. And I think that is the skill that isn't, I guess, or it's the skill that I'm worried about most in like the younger generation of not developing with how much they're keeping to themselves and, staying at home playing video games or, just being more and more comfortable, not being out actually socializing, right?
Mm.
Is being able to read a room, right? And knowing what it is that everybody is looking for and how to basically grasp the attention.
But so many people never get that. I know adults that are never going to get that.
It's because they haven't put themselves in that situation. You're gonna fall, right? It's like the guy that we all had like groups of friends that wouldn't never think about going up to a girl because out of fear of rejection, right? But it's like, okay, no, you're going to get rejected, but you have to do it over and over and over again until you find your sweet spot and see what kind of guy you are, right? What type of individual. And I'm not just saying guys have to approach girls, but I'm just saying if you wanted to, same thing like going to job interviews, right? You're not going to get the first job you interview for.
My brother-in-law, who doesn't listen to the show, who I adore, I love him to death. He has this tendency, he'll only apply for jobs that he feels like he's 100% fit for based on the description.
Yeah, I definitely used to be that guy.
And that's always been kind of like a cringy pet peeve of mine because as somebody who hires people, I would rather hire somebody who's like 65, 70% of the way there, who also is a very good personality match to a team, than I would hire somebody who's 100% there and kind of like a 75% personality match to a team. And then if I feel like I can rely on you, you could be 50%, I'll get you there.
Right. And that's, I think, refreshing and something that a lot of people need to hear, that there are people like you out there that are hiring, that would hire people like that. Because for one, most people, I feel like, get content in their jobs and they're only looking for a job again when they absolutely need one. So they want to get the home run hit. I want to make sure that if I'm applying, I'm going to get it. Right.
Yeah, see, I also don't like this part of corporate America too. Regil and I have been having this conversation about jobs a lot lately. Regil, you still there? You sleeping?
Oh yeah, I'm still here, and it's like some solid advice. I feel like you guys are giving me an intervention right now.
This is for me too, brother.
Well, in his world, and I'm not going to overshare your stuff, Regil, but we've been talking a lot about resumes and jobs and everything else recently. And it kind of breaks my heart because I know how Regil's been at his job for a long time.
14 years.
Yeah. And, coming away from the bank, we started at 17, almost 18 years ago. It's still fresh for me, the wounds of coming to, it was more hurtful to come to the realization that I needed to leave than it was to actually do it. But at the same time, now that I've been away from it for so long, one of our colleagues had essentially a retirement party after having left the company, shortly after I did, actually. Completely independent decisions, but certainly very close in proximity. And in doing so, it stirred up this interesting conversation where these people who hadn't seen me in a long time, who once regarded me as a C-level executive in the company, one of the founders and everything else, had come in, and they're now free of HR in the confines of a corporate relationship, having conversations with me about how they feel at their jobs. And the level of unhappiness that I heard from some people and the level of concern that I heard from some people, it's hard to hear. because at the same time, I felt that way, but I tried to keep it to myself because I'm supposed to be a leader. I'm not supposed to be sharing.
Mm-hmm.
And to hear that they feel that way too, I feel like I let them down. I feel like I should have stayed and endured to try to keep them happy. The counter argument is you can leave, go build something else one day, and maybe they'll have an opportunity to be happy working for you.
Mm-hmm.
But Rajil's story in that situation altogether made me. We've lost ourselves in society, and so that there's a generational gap difference whenever you hire people, and I've seen it. The younger generation, they don't stay at jobs for anywhere near as long as the older generation did.
Yeah, that's right.
3 to 4 years, in some cases 2 years on average, and they moved into other companies. Yeah. I used to look at that with a bit of disdain. And now I look at it with a completely different lens.
How so? You understand it now?
I understand it because corporate America...
Or you would recommend it?
Companies aren't giving back the same level of multi-year commitments anymore. And so many people I know are afraid to leave their jobs. That's the reason they're not leaving. It's not because they love their job, their pay is awesome, they feel like they're valued. It's because they're afraid to leave. And that is not the reason you want employees to stay. And somehow we've migrated. I don't know what you guys think, but if I were to take a poll of all the people that I know that are in corporate America, and I were to take a poll anonymously and say, all of you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much does fear of losing your job play into your life? I would venture to guess that most people are in the 6, 7, and 8 range every single day.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I don't think the labor market is as strong as the data is showing, right? So the fear of losing their job is I think on average, it's taking people well over a year on average to find a new job, which is a wild number to think about.
It is, but again, so having done this myself, I'm going to be very, very transparent here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Before I left the company that I was at, maybe it was fear, maybe it was insecurity, I don't know. I applied to jobs via LinkedIn and just anonymously, not using my connections, which I have a lot of, admittedly. I applied to jobs for a long period of time. You guys want to guess how many people called me back?
5.
Okay, good guess.
I mean,
Said?
I think I know the answer, so I don't want to say it. I mean, I'd say under 5.
Not a single person called me back.
There you go.
Yeah, in 6 months of applying. And keep in mind, I'm a licensed attorney. I've got 20 years of banking. I've done capital raises. I've done all the things you can think of.
And the resume suggests you're loyal.
Yeah, the resume was looked at as a weakness.
So it's not like, oh, this guy's an attorney and he's got all these different licenses. This is just a pit stop before he moves on to the next thing. Yeah.
So if you think your resume is insufficient, I would say that that's not the reason. And it comes down to the same core concept that we've all heard before. It's who you know, not what you know. It really, really is. And getting a new job is not going to be done. Yeah, you might have some luck and traction applying to jobs online. But do you have any idea how much better you will feel if you talk to people in your network about a job and they help you get a job? And most people, including myself, don't want to do that. Ironically, when I share more in the future about what I'm doing now and how I got here, you'll see how this advice is actually, ironically, what put me in the position that I'm in today. But I am working on something new, and we will talk about it, and we'll talk about it in great detail. I've got confidentiality agreements in place. I've got a bunch of things in place, at least through, I want to say, December.
Man, I was about to say, sure.
Yeah. And there's strategic reasons and legal reasons why I'm being a little bit cloak and dagger, but I rest assured I will go full open kimono on the timeline going from departing my last position to the new one at some point in time. And it'll shed some light on a lot of the reason why no one should be afraid to change jobs.
Yeah. Back to that conversation about people only applying to jobs that they're 100% certain that they actually qualify for. You know, we've talked about this before. How can I be expected? Companies do such a good job at pigeonholing you into learning your job and not allowing you to wear multiple hats.
The easiest way to move up in any company
is
to change companies.
And that's something that has always been told or shared, or we've all heard it before. But the only way you get the experience is if you trust me to do it based on my resume, that I've been given tasks and I can learn it and I can do it.
And trust in corporate America only comes from necessity.
Mm-hmm.
They need someone to fill a gap.
Yeah.
It's rarely going to come from equity you've put in. They go, you know what? He deserves this.
Yeah.
It's almost in a corporation. You think about it too, as a fiduciary for a corporation, I made a career literally out of finding people within the organization that I thought were good fits that weren't in the right place. And there's one person in particular, I adore her to death. She was an admin for an executive. She was sensational at the job. I've never seen an executive assistant as talented as her. And then I thought to myself, okay, that just means you're overqualified for the job. No, she said, I've only done this. And I said, you're capable of more.
Right.
So I put her in a role for facilities and said, I will help you. You will be okay. And you're going to fucking crush it. And she did.
Mm-hmm.
And she's goddamn good at the job. But I guarantee you there are people who will run into her on the street, remember her as an EA, and they're going to think, okay, she's an executive assistant. This is what her skill set is. This is who she is.
And they get labeled.
They get labeled, right? Yeah. And there's even people, one person in particular that comes to mind, who we do not get along whatsoever. She was a babysitter for somebody, and she wound up later on becoming an executive. To me, it is wildly unfair and inappropriate to label somebody as a babysitter because they started there. Everybody had some job like that. I was a teller at a bank.
Right.
Okay. And if somebody used their relationship to get ahead or get farther because they knew somebody and they had a connection to networking, that's how the world works, man.
Yeah, exactly.
But to label somebody and say, oh, they only got this job because this. Okay, well, you know how many jobs people have gotten across the world because they knew somebody who was in the right position?
Mm-hmm. Nepotism, bro, is real.
Yeah, and even if it's not nepotism.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, if
it's just a relationship, even I know, I get it. But
yeah,
it's like,
we can't label and demonize.
But
people.
if they're getting the job done, right?
And then we demonize the idea of like, oh, this person's only got that because they know this person. Okay, well, you know what? You didn't know that person, and they do have that.
Yeah.
Why aren't you leveraging your network the same way?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make anybody less qualified. Now, if they can't do the job and they're failing at it, that's a different conversation.
Right. People have a real problem, and I'm very much guilty of this, of imposter syndrome. Right.
I do this all the time.
You know what I mean? And it's like
every time we turn the mics on, we go hot. I'm like, shit.
Again? Damn,
We
y'all
do
back?
this?
Y'all back again?
Yeah.
But I have this feeling because I don't know. I like to consider myself someone who's very honest, especially like with his friends and his family. And I treat the people I work with like as close friends because I feel like that's when you have a bond like that, we all work well together. And I would allow myself to talk myself out of situations to be like, yeah, like I know I could probably push for this, but so and so is probably more qualified, and I don't want to get it. And then everybody look at me like, oh, why does he have it? And you catch yourself talking yourself out of situations where why not go for it?
I'm going to use names and I'm going to be specific, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for this.
Corrupt, calling out names.
Yeah, no, it's not necessarily bad. Merlinda Coronado, who is our loan servicing manager, was our loan servicing manager at the bank. She still works there. I do not. We started the bank around the same time. She left for 8 years and then came back. She is sensational at her job. She's great. Probably the best I've ever worked with. And when we started the bank, I was promoted to an SVP around the same time that she was, a job and a qualification that she'd had before. She had decades of experience on me. And we were up in Ventura County. We were looking to buy a bank up there. Myself, the then president, the CFO, the CEO, and the chief credit officer. And the night before, we all drank a lot. This is the early days of the bank. And we got very, very intoxicated. And then I finally just asked the president and the CFO, I said, they were drinking wine and I'm drinking scotch. And I said, guys, I don't understand. I said, what? I said, why am I getting this opportunity? You know, and why am I being put on the same level as her when she has all this extra experience? And I knew it came off unfair. And then part of me, I could rationalize it and say, well, you know, I've taken on a little bit more assignment wise and she stayed in her box. And I could rationalize it both ways. And then the president, who did not like me, was not my biggest fan, looked over at me and said, throughout your career, you will have people who stay in the same positions because they're happy, because they like it, or because they don't want to take on more, or for reasons that are sometimes completely unknown to you, might have to do with their personal life. And you will escalate to a point where you are in a position that you don't move from, or you won't. But you can't look back on the people around you and use them as a proxy for how far you should go. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of heartless and one-sided. Like, we're all a team. We all work together. And what he was saying is, yeah, we're a team, but certain players will get opportunities. They'll take advantage of it. And maybe they're not the greatest player on the team, but maybe they got a better opportunity to shine. Scottie Pippen versus Michael Jordan. What would Scottie Pippen have done if he was on a team by himself?
Oh, I know.
Right? And then flash forward years later, I'm contemplating taking over an executive position, and Melinda and I have a conversation. And she tells me, the reason why I never got to that point, it's not because I couldn't have gotten to that point. It's because I didn't want to deal with the bullshit and the politics and all the things that come with that, the sacrifices of my family. And as a young kid who was ambitious, I heard what she was saying. I could logically understand it and process it. But as an adult, looking back on it, God, that was such fucking good advice by her. The shit that destroyed me and really tainted my perspective of corporate America was all the stuff she didn't want to deal with. And before I left the bank, I went in and talked to her. And I started off the conversation by saying, you were right. It wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Because I'm hated by more people than ever before, because I rose to a position that visibly people were always trying to challenge me and take me out on. I was young. People whose careers I did help along the way. Some people were loyal. Some people just took advantage. People you think are your friends are not your friends because you're in a position of power. You have people outside the business community who go, okay, you should be wearing. I had somebody criticize me recently saying, oh, you're supposed to be all this successful guy. You live in an 1,180 square foot, townhome. And it's like, why do you think that me having a big ass house is a proxy for my success? Maybe, just maybe, I'm conservative and you're an asshole.
I mean, look at Warren Buffett, bro.
Exactly. But we have these labels that, and when you get to this point, certain points in your career, you put targets on your back. So we look at people and you think to yourself, okay, my colleagues, I don't want to take this opportunity for them. But you, Saeed, don't know that you really are taking an opportunity from somebody. They may not want that.
True.
They may not need that. And I'll tell you right now, as a guy who unemployed, and I go to the gym, I wake up in the morning, take my son to school. I go to the gym with my wife. I come home, then I come here.
Yeah.
Right? I'm here. Yeah, great. We record the podcast nights, but I still get home to give my son a bath, get him dinner, do all that. I'm spending more time with my wife and my son now.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not some visible publicly traded executive. But I guarantee my wife and son are happier.
No, it's true. And look, you've been afforded this opportunity now because you did take that on for a long time. But I look at
Melinda.
Yeah.
I bet you she was a better mom during those years where I was being an executive than I was a dad.
So it's funny you bring her up, and I owe her actually a conversation too, because I needed to thank her. I've told somebody else this recently. When how I was pregnant with Adam, my first, right? We had a big old baby shower at the office, right?
Oh, yeah,
and it was awesome. Everybody
we used to do such fun stuff.
Yeah. Everybody went all out, and it was super memorable. I remember she stopped me for one of those water cooler conversations, and it was I literally give this advice to upcoming new parents because it resonated with me, and it stuck with me now. Look, he's 9 years old, going on 10, right? You're about to have your first kid. You're going to want to give him everything that you didn't have. Don't forget to give him the stuff that you did have. Don't forget to give him the stuff that your parents did do for you.
Yeah.
Right? And that always stuck with me because, yeah, we all look back and I think, man, my parents really messed this up. They messed this up. I wish they would have done this better. Easy to, point out all the flaws. But they'll stop for a second and think about what stuff are you grateful for, and I made sure to still do some of those things, right? Like, to this day, man, my dad, unfortunately, he had his own business at the time. Couldn't make it to every practice, couldn't take me this and that, right? But he never missed a game, though.
Yep.
never once. And something I never even thought about till way after the fact, like he was always there. Always made sure that he was there. Right? Little things like that.
How hard is that now? Like, how do you? I didn't realize. So my dad came to one game. I played basketball, and my mom came to one game, and they were going through their own situation. Mom moved obviously when I was 14, so she didn't see like the high school stuff. But I look back on it, I know how hard that is.
It's so hard, man, and especially now more so than ever because of, I mean, just with work and where it is, and you have, both parents are having to work, and now forget if you have 2 kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Plus,
like,
managing the schedule is like its own separate job in and of itself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's insanity.
And the games now are even more wild. But I mean, this past weekend, we enrolled the boy in a camp, right?
Mm-hmm.
This camp Jesser, right? This guy on YouTube that has 30 million subscribers, and Adam got in, and they needed coaches, so your boy decided to step up, and I helped out coaching. Bro, let me tell you, these kids, it was like, it would have been the equivalent of, I don't know, you're a little older than
Jesus Christ.
But it would have been like if Zach Morris would have held a camp back in the day and we all got invited, and how crazy everybody would have gone.
Saved by the Bell's my proxy from my childhood.
I love that show.
Right? Bro, and back then,
Full disclosure, that was his generation. My generation was way before that. You got Smurfs for me, dog.
Smurfs for you, right? But like,
Papa Smurf would have held a camp.
dude, the level of energy these kids had, it was insane. It was like as if Michael Jackson pulled up, right? Like everyone went absolutely nuts. And kids were, it was an awesome experience, but just to be able to be there and like take it in and soak it in was it was pretty special, man. But yeah, to your point, it's really hard to be present in today's day and age with everything that's going on.
So I look at the stuff that we think about, and I look at all the people on social media. Everybody on social media, even our president and our FOMC head and everybody else, they're not talking about being there for their families. Everything is business at all times.
Yeah.
Everything you hear from these people is business at all times. Your favorite influencer is your favorite influencer at all times. And the how many parent influencers do you know that go to jail for being bad parents? Like there's a number of them out there, right? It's so hard to have balance, but I think it starts with taking the pressure off yourself. Taking out the pressure off yourself to worry about other employees at your job to get ahead. If you have to get ahead, and that's what you feel like makes you a better person, then so be it. If you feel like making your family is a priority and you're risking your job for it, then I would say you need to find a better job or take the pressure off yourself and say, I'm not risking my family. They'll understand.
Right.
We put so much goddamn pressure on ourselves every single day. And it's progressive overload, right? You get to this point where you just start loading little bits and pieces more and more and more. And then you get to this point where you look back and you don't know where the years went.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
And even I mean, for a lot of people who listen to the show, they're not parents. Even if you're not a parent, there are entire years of my life where I worked 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
I used to pride myself on being one of the first people in the office and leaving late at night. And yeah, I made a good amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Great. But you know how many of my friends don't talk to me to this day because they didn't understand it? And I'm not saying that they're good friends or we're on the same mental playing field.
Right.
But those are the sacrifices that I made. Would I make them again today? I would not.
Yeah. Yeah. There definitely needs to be a balance, right? And to your point, yeah. I remember going to college at UCI, and I can't remember the course that I took, but it was the first day of class, and it was like this triangle figure, and it was like social life, good grades, sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Pick 2.
Yeah. And in a way, that's true during college. There's a time and a place for all that stuff.
But that translates into the real world too.
Yeah.
Right? Like you got family, work, sleep. Now think about your health and all these other things. You got hobbies. Like my wife and I are already having the conversation now. We're like we each have our own independent hobbies that we would like to do and we'd like to do more of. But it's like, man, if we don't start doing this like now, we're not gonna do this later on in life. We're not gonna want to pick this up later. Right?
Joanna's selling vintage jewelry.
Yeah.
The night she focuses on that, and she does it like 3-4 nights a week.
Yeah.
We don't spend any time together at the end of the night.
Yeah, exactly. Which
because
is fine.
That's a sacrifice you have to make.
Yeah, which is fine. Like I want to see my wife passionate about something that she likes, and look, I'll step in. I'll do what I can to be a part of it and support. But like, for instance, like for me, unfortunately, like the hobby that I really, really would love to pick up is playing more golf. Like I actually enjoy playing golf. Unfortunately, that hobby is not only expensive, but sucks a lot of time. Right? Mm-hmm. It's like 4 or 5 hours at a time. And in order to keep up with it and actually be decent, you gotta go and play often. Otherwise, it's not like riding a bike.
I have always liked the idea of golf, but because of I know the commitments in time and execution, and because I have to physically be somewhere to do it, I've always ruled it out, and I still rule it out. But I have a different proposition for you. I know you like making video content.
Love it. I really do. Really, really do.
We have over there behind Regil an entire cabinet. We have 2 drones now. We've got 5 cameras. You know, we've got the Meta glasses. You already have your own pair. We've got all sorts of stuff. I got the DJI, the gimbal like camera thing. We've got mics. We've got shotgun mics. We got all that. You could do the entire Casey Neistat. Come in, check out equipment, go make whatever film you want to make.
That's true.
You could do that right now. And if you can't leave the house, you could literally shoot film around the house.
Yeah.
Fucking with B-roll and all that kind of shit. And you could hone your skills.
Yeah, no. That to me, that also is a hobby of mine that I enjoy doing. I love making like the family content. Those I've recorded so many birthdays, bro. I'm so far behind.
I know you posted them the other day, like from like a couple of years ago,
bro. Adam's 5th birthday, and I'm not even editing them the way I want to edit them. At this point, how I was looking at me like, bro, he's turning 10. You haven't made birthday number 5, or Arya. I've up to birthday number 4. Like she's 7.
Why don't you give me some of the footage,
bro? It's literally I'm not even doing it fancy. I'm just clipping out parts and picking a song that they like, and I would love to dive into it even more and hone in my skills. Buy some effects and have fun with it.
I've learned.
I know you
recently,
gave me access to the art list.
Oh yeah, art list.
That's
dope.
I love that. Messing around with that. Just
there,
like for some people, it'd be annoying trying to find the right sound. Like I like that. I want to deep dive and find the right sound that I want for the video.
I don't actually spend that much time doing it anymore.
Yeah, I know, but it's like if you had the time, it would be really cool to geek out on it, right?
Oh my god, if I had the time, the stuff that I'd be able to make.
Yeah, but for me, there's something so peaceful about playing golf, and the idea, like I don't want this. No, not even that part. Honestly, I know it. Not for it to sound corny, but it translates so well to life. You want to head this way. You're aiming for this way. You hit the shot, right? And it goes that way.
Lifting weights is my golf.
No, that which is cool too, and I actually enjoy that too. But this is like you aimed for this, you tried it, it went far right. Now you gotta let that go to be able to hit the next shot. If you keep thinking about that shot, that next one is gonna be 10 times worse.
Regil, you golfing?
No, I'm not golfing.
Ever golf?
Mini golf.
Mini golf.
Yeah, it counts.
These courses and some of these courses are beautiful, man.
They are, but I had allergies as a kid, so I get on a golf course. I'm worried about just,
why are you taking a dump on my hobby, bro?
I'm not taking a dump on your hobby.
It sounds like you're taking a dump on my hobby.
Taking a dump on you.
Number 2.
Yeah, 2 sides, 1 cup.
Christopher,
what? It's an hour and 12
Regil,
minutes.
You gonna let this? What?
He's too young to even know what that is.
No comment.
I was in middle school.
So you saw it?
I said I was in middle school. I know where I was. I know where I was when I first heard it.
See, what happened was,
that was an urban legend that made its way around the world.
That's wild.
That's like pre-social media urban legend.
Yeah, for that to spread,
they went viral before viral was counted.
Yeah, for that to spread like wildfire, no pun intended.
Yeah, that's the original Bonnie Blue. Bonnie Poo Poo.
Bonnie Blue, crazy.
Again, it's attention media now, man. Like, who can do the most shocking thing?
How is this real?
It's real. I mean, I've seen.
You've heard.
I've seen statements on Twitter. I've not actually seen any of her work. Okay.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now that I believe it's all true. I don't doubt it at all. I just don't know.
My man's moonwalking.
No. Here's the problem for me is conceptually, I don't understand why anybody would want to watch that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather watch like the old school, like Showtime, Cinemax versions where there's a storyline and a plot and it was like normalized.
Yeah, cheesy.
Rather than just like marathon sessions and stuff. I just don't understand.
Oh my God.
And then, but they're making millions, dude. Millions doing it. And then at the same time, you're like, all right, well, if you're going to do it,
Yeah, it's a tough sell. Like I heard, I can't remember which podcast it was I was listening to, and it was like you're coming like into a day and age where if like your kid comes up and was like, look, I can make tens of thousands of dollars this month if I just sell some pictures of my feet. You're like, as a parent, you're like, no, absolutely not. And like, well, I'm an adult and I'm going to do what I want to do.
Mhm.
And you're like, I mean, what are you going to say? Like, Dad, I see you working as hard as you are. You're not making anywhere near this.
I know.
And I'm just selling some feet pics.
I know. And look, I get it. I'm not saying that
What are you gonna do? You're gonna have the conversation of like, have a little bit more self-respect. Like, I don't like that argument doesn't even really hold.
I don't know, man. Some people on like OnlyFans are making life-changing money. It's really hard to argue. I guess when they start, they're not. It's just like a pipe dream.
Yeah.
But like I get it.
It's a numbers game. Yeah, no, I get it.
That's the crazy part about all that stuff is it's a numbers game, but the numbers are irrelevant now. The only number that counts is how many views you get. Everything else, like your follower count, irrelevant. Your likes, comments, irrelevant. How many people see your content?
Right.
That's it. But the thing is, we have this weird like bent perspective because like if I say something goes viral, you think like millions of views. Rajil, what's the biggest concert you ever been to?
Oh, that's a good question.
Okay, so let's go with the Bad Boy reunion tour.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
that was a concert?
That's not what I would be citing right now.
Bad Boy reunion tour.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Everybody loves Mario.
Were they selling Vaseline and baby oil, or was it?
No, you're just getting that at the door, bro.
Can you imagine if Ice Cube opened up with no Vaseline and then they went on?
Bro, I saw an interview with what's his name? O'Shea Jackson. He was like being interviewed with one of his friends on the podcast. Like, how does it feel about like one of the songs? Like, he's talking about your mom in this video.
That's not right.
That's disrespectful.
That's wild.
That's so disrespectful.
If somebody asks you that question, they don't like you.
I know they're supposed to be boys too.
Nah, you don't like you. That's not cool.
That's wrong.
Unless O'Shea was like, listen, I'm gonna let you ask this question.
Yeah.
So Google or search how big the theater, stadium, or whatever that was, whatever venue you were at, and how many people it holds, or just.
So I went to that concert. Weiss actually bought me tickets for him and I to go to that one where Kanye and Drake, like basically like squashed their beef, and they had it at the where's that in LA, the Coliseum.
Okay, Coliseum.
That's like 90,000. Right?
Is it 90,000 people?
Yeah.
But
really? Not all the seats were sold out. But I mean, yeah, like that's where we were. Yeah.
Which Coliseum? Because the one I went to was in Oakland.
No, the Coliseum in LA.
Just Google Los Angeles Coliseum capacity.
Yeah.
So there you go. I can see up to 63,132 people.
That's Oakland's.
All right.
That's
like, fine. Oakland.
That's B level, bro.
Then check out the LA Coliseum. I'm going somewhere with this, so bear with me.
77,500.
77,500 for LA Coliseum?
Yeah.
Okay.
Damn, I would have thought it was close to 100.
So there you go. So
because they built that for the Olympics, I think.
Right? If we have a reel that went 350,000 views for the Mark Zuckerberg one, right? You filled 5 stadiums,
right,
of people who viewed your content, and yet we go, oh, it didn't hit 1 million.
Yeah,
like that's it.
That's it.
Like you're, oh my god, like
you're almost there.
You're not like 1 million, like 2 million, like 3.
Yeah.
When you think about it in the context of how many people are at those stadiums, because we nominalize and rationalize like numbers because they're irrelevant. But when you start putting the context of human bodies, I mean, granted some bots, looking at stuff, like these numbers are big.
Yeah.
If you can get a podcast like this one out and get 20,000 to 30,000 streams per episode.
Yeah. No,
like you're filling stadiums, bro.
Right. It's true. Exactly.
Right.
For long periods of time too. Not like a short clip that's 60 seconds. We're talking if the average duration that they're consuming is anything over like we talked about top of the show, right? Like 75% of the show. I mean, that's impressive. Especially when you're doing this. This is like all organic from the ground up, right? We didn't leverage anybody but Sexy Adam.
So sexy.
I know we said no guests, but like Sal gotta come. Sal gotta come on the show.
Sal's been going through a whole religious like phase recently. He's got that whole vlogging
his story where that encounter with the homeless guy.
You can tell it's like deeply emotional for him.
I mean, it's hard to tell him. Like, I mean that story was very compelling.
No, I get it, and I think like he's starting to get that mental similarity to Jordan Peterson in some way, where Peterson's more aggressive about it than Sal is, but you can tell logically they're coming from the same place.
There's this guy that made the rounds of all the podcasts not too long ago.
Bonnie Blue.
He was like, they call him. I don't know his name. Is he Dr. Oz? He's a mentalist. Is the clip that I sent you today when he was on Flagrant?
Oh, I didn't get checked.
Okay, he was.
Oh, is it the one where we got bleeped out?
Yeah, we got bleeped out. But he also went on Rogan where he guessed Rogan's pin code. That's this guy. Have you seen this one?
No.
Oh my God, it's impressive. You hear a guy like that, or these mentalists, bro. The way they're able to read people and pick up on subtle nuances so quickly, it's unbelievable. Somebody like that gets in front of you, and back in the day before you even knew what a mentalist was, it's like and they told you that if they came and they're speaking on behalf of God, game over, bro. Yeah, I believe you.
How does one become a mentalist?
I mean, it stems from being a magician. That's what
Yeah.
he's this guy. Yeah, Oz Perlman. This guy's wild, bro. You didn't see that? You didn't see the episode where he was on Rogan?
No.
He guessed Rogan's pin code live on the air. And he guessed like multiple things that he would do later on in the show. He said he prepped for it for 2 years. Yeah, it was
prepped for it for 2 years.
You have to watch it.
I will. I'm fascinated by it. Oz the Mentalist. Yeah, he's 43, born in 1982, Israel.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Long distance runner for marathons and ultra marathons.
I personally like the Flagrant episode better, but I mean, obviously
Why a little bit more candid?
Yeah, and the boys' reactions, you could tell you can't fake it.
Yeah.
No,
Oz Perlman did not win America's Got Talent. He competed in season 10.
And he openly admits he's bombed before, where he's like his early stages and he's come up, like he's made some wrong reads and gotten certain things wrong, you know. But that's the problem with what he does. Like
I have no desire to want to do that.
What do you mean?
I would want to be able to read people, but I have no desire to want to like call people out.
No. What do you mean call people out?
Because he's trying to guess people. Like the only way you can validate.
Yeah. No, it's a trick.
Yeah, you're reading social cues to get responses, and then you're making educated guesses from the social cues.
Yeah, but like the way he's able to hyper focus on like your right eye twitch right when I said that. Oh, and then he's able to guess, bro. There's one trick that he did. He took a book, right, and he just flipped the pages, and he says, "Tell me when to stop." He said, "You go pick the book. Go pick any book you want. You pick the book." And he flips it all up, right? And he said, "Tell me when to stop." All right, now pick a word from this book, from this page, any word that you want, any word on here that you want. And he asks like a series of questions, and he basically figures out, oh, it's 6 letters long. It probably ends with it, and within 3 or 4 seconds, he guesses the word that you picked up from the book. It's fascinating, bro. How do you do that?
No, it's fascinating. I get it, but I'm just saying, like,
what?
Other than entertainment value,
it's better than a card trick because a card trick's all sleight of hand.
No, I get it, but at the same, some of those sleight of hand tricks are impressive. Those, let's be honest.
That's
my
not
hands
that
don't
impressive.
function like that. You know what I mean? Like I can't have that.
It's in the flick of the wrist, bro.
Yeah, I don't have the what would you call it? Spear fingers. Virgil?
There it is.
Once an episode, every episode. But yeah, I get it. I'm a big fan of the mental acuity it takes to do some of those things, but at the same time, I think that's a better weaponized in business than it is in entertainment.
Yeah.
Just personal perspective.
Yeah. And they get into that on the episode.
Like I can tell right now, you're not wearing underwear.
Boxer briefs.
Wait. You're gonna tell me you are.
Yeah, there you go.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. I had a joke that I cannot say because we're trying to keep.
Fingers.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to do it.
I like that one right there. We're gonna have to leave it right there, bro. We both wanted to. Hey, if you know, you know.
Have you ever seen those two guys on their social media channel?
No. So is it an actual podcast, or was that just fake? Was that just fake content?
These guys, I don't know if it's an actual podcast, but it's a podcast setting, and they have social clips on their channel. Okay. I think they're Nigerian or African, right?
Yeah.
And the one guy in particular who does the snap the fingers thing,
right?
He asks questions, like the one I ran across today, which is equally as challenging, but I'm gonna try to get it out. He asked the guy across from him, and he does this like slow way of asking. He goes, "If you are blind and you are missing a finger, does that count as a speech impediment?"
That's can't laugh at that, bro.
But I get it. But his questions are all like based in fact.
No, it's true.
You're like, wait a minute.
Right. I get it. I see where he's going. He's got a point.
Yeah,
he ain't wrong.
He has a lot of like questions that are, and I hate to say it because they're offensive because they appeal to like your social norms, but they're very thought provoking.
No, I know. And my whole take on this, my whole take on this is if you're gonna make fun of and make jokes, if a comedian is gonna make because not everybody should be licensed. I feel like to just crack jokes on whatever they want. But if you're a comedian and this is what you do for a living and you're deemed a professional, the more jokes you can make about everybody, the better, because it makes it more inclusive versus treating certain like, you know.
The best people doing this are the ones like Schultz and Chappelle that can do it in the context of a story.
They do it in the context of a story, and Schultz is really good at making it silly, right? If you can make something silly, then it's like, okay.
Chappelle's a master storyteller. Like he will literally say something that comes off so sincere that you believe he experienced that.
Yeah.
And in some cases he did. But he can take this story, lead you down a road, and then he'll throw a curveball at you at the very end that makes you go, shit.
Yeah, I know. And this is, we were having a conversation about this not too long ago where it's like Chappelle is widely deemed as like one of the GOATs, right, in that space.
100%.
And unfortunately, if you tell that to like the younger generation and they go jump in and watch his new stuff, they can't appreciate it because we have the history with Chappelle.
Giving up, walking away for $50 million.
You can't. Yeah, that you're right. The whole Chappelle show, right?
Yeah.
All that, all the stand up, right?
That's what they don't understand in Living Color.
Yeah,
like Jamie Foxx was in Living Color.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So,
Jim Carrey in Living Color.
Yeah.
The Wayans family, Marlon Wayans, Damon Wayans, like they all literally came from that show and was created by Keenan Ivory Wayans. Mm-hmm. And they don't realize that so many of the top tier even comedians that are now past their prime, that aren't even really acting the same way anymore.
Yeah.
Were at their upper echelons because Damon Wayans found them.
Exactly.
And put them in a show.
Had an eye for talent like that.
And people forget that Damon Wayans was in like blockbuster movies with,
Damon Wayans, was he Major Payne?
Major Payne, but he was also in what's the one? God, he's got dementia now. Bruce Willis. He was in, remember the movie with Bruce Willis? I mean, he was in so many amazing movies.
But I remember back then he was doing a lot of A-list stuff.
Yeah.
And
but he lifted off all those careers.
You tell somebody that has no history of context of comedy, and Chappelle's the GOAT, and they go listen to his thought-provoking style of comedy now. Yeah. We're just gonna go right over their head and be like, bro, this guy's weak. Get out of here.
It's kind of what the evolution of Chris Rock was.
Yeah.
Pre-slap.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Even it's bad when you can get slapped on national television and it still can't revive your career.
What is it?
Damn.
He's not trying to revive his career, bro. Hold on. I did watch his last. The last special was good. It was great. It was a great special. It
wasn't great enough to get, top tier, responsiveness.
Well, because
he's amazing. I'm not taking that away from him. I'm just saying, like, the public sentiment around him is not just.
I know D'Elia was getting canceled for some stuff that he did not too long ago, but he recently went on a whole rant about like comedy. Now you got all these.
There it is, The Last Boy Scout.
The Last Boy Scout. Good job.
Great movie.
Wow.
Regil, you have definitely not seen that movie.
Wow, look at
I was born that year.
Yeah.
Look at
Son
Bruce.
of a bitch.
I was born that year. You were watching movies already? He's like, I was born that year.
God damn it.
I love you, man. Good job. I love seeing him in pain.
Equal opportunity right here, man.
Yeah. So many movies he hasn't seen. He's a sucker for a good TV show, though.
You said that last episode? I heard that when I was editing it.
No, he watches a lot of TV shows. What's your favorite TV show, Regil? Ever?
Oh, man.
Don't make me look bad now.
Oh, I like
He's going to say
Ride.
Rugrats.
What did he say?
Pimp My Ride. That was a good one.
Pimp My Ride. God, jeez, man. Odin did the same thing to me back then when I said, he's a movie buff. Yeah. Then he totally flopped. Remember?
I like Good Burger, bro.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
See? That was a good...
They're revitalizing that, right?
They should, bro. Kel, what happened to Kel's career? Keenan blossomed with SNL, longest lasting member ever on SNL. I think he's got the longest career.
Yeah.
And Kel just flopped. He just got stuck with orange soda. That's it. That was his thing, right?
No, I know.
Who loves orange soda? Kel loves orange soda.
I'm not getting anywhere near this topic. Okay, I'm not going to bleep you for a second show.
Well, that's nothing to do with that. Stop.
Good Burger 2, initial release 2020. Oh, it came out.
It already came out.
Shit.
Yeah. You didn't watch it. You didn't watch it.
My bad. Yeah.
My bad.
They're reviving. They revived.
Yeah.
And
They
then
tried.
It died again.
Yeah, it died again, yeah.
My bad.
All right, man. Hour and 30.
Yeah.
Good job tonight.
Not bad for having no idea what we're going to talk about when we got on the mic tonight.
No, we had an idea.
That's a lie.
We did a good job.
We're going to be intellectually honest with our people here.
Oh, come on. With the whole conversation around generative AI and the MIT report and Jackson Hole, I think it's important for people to hear. And I am one of the people that are in the camp of I'm worried about the stock market being propped up a little too high with how much money has gone in.
I'm 100% in that camp.
Like, I feel like if, let's just say, Meta alone were to stop pumping so much money into their data spending for AI, that in and of itself would cause a recession.
Dude, they're building nuclear reactors for their AI now.
Yeah.
They're literally, Google and Meta are literally looking to, because the algorithm and the technology and hardware behind it takes so much power, enough power to effectively power small cities. They're literally trying to build nuclear reactors to power their AI.
Dude,
we have now hit the point of Terminator.
I know. Think how much money they're dumping into this. How much of that actually contributes to the overall GDP figure?
A lot.
Right, a lot. Just pausing what they're doing would cause a recession, a technical event of recession, although the definition was changed by the White House. But
listen, if you're from the National Bureau of Economic Research, you're like, Said, fuck it, you read this speech. I'm not going. President Trump gonna fire you.
Yeah,
can you imagine? We've had 2 negative quarters successively of GDP growth, and as a result, we are declaring a recession. Ring, ring, ring. Shit, Donald's calling me.
Yeah, Donald's calling. He's saying
he wouldn't call.
He's saying
posted on Truth.
Yeah, that's right.
He's like, can you guys use that same trick you did with the gross domestic income and average the 2 out, and we can just wipe it clean?
We did that for the Biden administration, and there was white baggies full of white powder.
We can't do that again.
Nobody knows whose it was.
Yeah, I don't know whose it was.
Just showed up there. It was just there.
Yeah, like we know.
There's a lot of cameras in the White House.
What's going on?
You're telling me the most secure house in the country, and everyone's like, oh, this is a bag of white powder here. We don't know how it got here.
Bro, imagine trying to get away with this. And you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to get us canceled.
Spirit hands.
Yeah, let's leave it right there. Let's leave it here. Yeah.
All right. Say it, boys.
You got anything else for Jill?
Let's see. Let's have a fun question.
Okay. I mean,
What was
we're a minute, an hour and 30.
Fun question.
I like fun questions.
Okay.
What was the funnest job you've had?
The funnest job I've had.
Is getting paid a prerequisite?
Yeah. Because if it's not, it's the higher standard.
Yeah, I mean,
that's pretty easy. Yeah. This has been pretty fun.
While getting paid.
While getting paid.
Shit.
I did get paid in
with the W-2
merch. Funnest job I've had. Mine's kind of boring, but it's true. I enjoyed being a referee.
Okay. One of the first jobs I had was selling cell phones at Circuit City. And
it's part of the reason they went under, or what?
Yeah, right. Fun fact, you used to make way more money selling the insurance for the cell phone than you did the cell phones. When you go in there and you buy all this insurance, protect your phone. Something happened to it, right? Some of these guys in Circuit City selling cell phones in the early 90s were making like $7,000 to $8,000 a month.
Wow.
Just selling cell phones. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's this new technology that was now being put out to all the consumers, and nobody had it.
And everybody had it in their cars.
Yeah.
They had like the wired physical ones, but these new cell phones, they were crazy. And then when the plans dropped.
I remember my mom had that Motorola one.
Yeah.
That one that was really popular. It was like the original Razor. Remember the Razors back in the day?
Big old brick, yeah.
I had both those, by the way.
You had the Motorola one?
Yeah.
Man, you're old, bro.
The clamshell one with the metal case.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah. I had the original Nokia. I had the upgraded Nokia, the one that came out after the Matrix that slid in the bottom.
The original Nokia that had Snake on it?
Yeah, I had that one.
Still probably has its battery life full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a badass phone, man. Now I got AI-powered drones. It's crazy.
And kids were having that, and they were texting each other in class answers to the test. Teachers had no idea.
No idea.
They didn't know what they were doing.
What is this instant messaging across mobile devices wirelessly? Now you try to tell a kid that you had to like call somebody from a payphone. They're like, why?
Bro, I
had to explain a pager to my brother the other day. My brother's 30, by the way. I had to explain a pager to him. He was like, I don't get it. Why would you have a code?
Bro, I was trying to tell this to a younger cousin or nephew. I was telling him, I was like, you know what we used to have to do? There used to be this thing on the street called a payphone, believe it or not. And after basketball practice, the way I had to tell my mom I'm ready to be picked up, I would call her 1-800-COLLECT, and it would ask you to say your name. And your name, they would tell them, would you like to accept a call from so-and-so? And then my mom would have to get charged based on the call, right? But I would say 1-800-COLLECT, and I call her number, and for my name, I'd say, Mom, I'm ready to come pick me up.
Smart.
And then
The system.
and you just got to hope she answered the phone. That's it, right? She answers the phone, boom, next thing you know, she'd be there.
Damn, times have changed.
Right? Kids don't know how good they have it.
Oh, my God. I'm not doing it.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Bye.